One of the best things I can say about this movie is that it would be a good choice to watch on a rainy day. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new VOD release, Fear of Rain. Let me know in the comments before we begin what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Fear of Rain. This stars Madison Iseman as Rain, a girl living with schizophrenia who struggles with terrifying hallucinations as she begins to suspect her neighbor has kidnapped a child. The only person who believes her is Caleb, played by Israel Broussard, a boy she isn't even sure exists. This is written and directed by Castile Landon and is actually a totally original story, taking a very genre-heavy approach at tackling the issue of mental health, and it acts as one part character study and one part mystery thriller. Though we're tackling two mysteries at once here, as Rain struggles with both trying to figure out whether or not Caleb is real, as well as whether or not there really is a child in her neighbor's, who's also her teacher's, house. Now, the whole is it real, is it not trope, where fantasy and reality begin to blend, is one that we've seen countless times by now, and we get some familiar setups here, like the only person Caleb seems to regularly interact with is Rain. He always gets to her when she's by herself. If we see him make a comment to someone else, they don't react to him, and it messes with Rain throughout the movie. Though, while it treads some familiar territory, I wouldn't say the movie as a whole is predictable. While it's one that I don't think offers too much insight into mental illness as it thinks it does, which may rub some people the wrong way, I still thought it handled the subject with nuance while offering an intriguing mystery at the same time. The film manages to find a nice balance between Rain trying to deal with these voices in her head and these hallucinations while also moving forward with this storyline of trying to figure out if her teacher kidnapped this kid. And while some scenes may feel slightly repetitive, mainly in the middle, the film is anything but slow, outside of a few sequences. Like, we get a number of scenes with Rain at her therapist's office, and I don't think they were entirely necessary, as it was mainly just to repeat information. But otherwise, at 104 minutes, I found it to be pretty fast-paced. We get a look at how dealing with this illness takes its toll on Rain's parents, played by Harry Connick Jr. and Katherine Heigl, both of whom I thought did a solid job here, and we'll spend just enough time focusing on one storyline, giving us just enough intrigue to leave us wanting more, before shifting gears and repeatedly going back and forth without ever coming off as tonally jarring. And the film never felt callous or exploitative in terms of handling Rain's schizophrenia. We'll get some of the usual manifestations that go with horror and thriller movies, like she'll see blood on the walls in one scene, or parts of a room begin decaying, and we'll get some shifty camera movements where it'll try disorienting us as if we're seeing things literally through Rain's perspective. Things will be obscured, voices might be muffled for a bit, a lot of the stuff we've seen before. Though one nice visual cue that I liked was if Rain's mind was racing, trying to figure something out, we'll see it manifested in the form of something literally being written down in her head, sometimes accompanied by her actually saying what it is being written down. And there were some subtle things, like she'll be talking to someone, say if it's her teacher or one of her parents, and they may say something that sounds a bit off, almost like a non sequitur, but it's still said in such a way that you don't totally realize it at first, and you have to let it sit with you for a moment, and you wonder if Rain just imagined a part of this conversation. So I thought that was a nice touch, especially just for how it was delivered. And despite a sense of familiarity at times, the journey still felt captivating because Rain herself is a compelling character. We see her actively trying to work her way through each situation. She'll stop and take a deep breath if she knows she sees something that seems off. And because she knows of the tricks this illness will play on her mind, she's very self-aware of how some things she thinks may come off. So she doesn't always just make impulsive decisions. She sits there, self-reflects, thinks of the consequences of certain situations before acting at certain points. Not everything's totally clear-cut at all times, like she doesn't always make the absolute best decision, and things won't get resolved so neatly just because she thought things through perfectly. I just thought for the way they were handled, those were some of the best moments where the film would infuse mystery with character development. And I thought Madison Iseman did a wonderful job of bringing out a lot of the nuance in this character. I think she's a very talented actress, and the way in which she handled each situation, like some of these interactions where, say, her classmates look down on her because of her illness, it would be absolutely heartbreaking without ever coming off as melodramatic. And she never went over the top whenever Rain had moments where she couldn't be in total control. She always hit all the right notes, and I think her performance alone makes this worth watching. And Israel Broussard was also pretty solid. His role is very similar to how he was in movies like To All the Boys I've Loved Before and the Happy Death Day movies, which is this supportive, nice guy who may not fully get what's going on, but it's been working for him so far, and once again, it's effective here. And I thought the moments between him and Iseman were kind of sweet. And when this film got more into the mystery side of things, I found it to be highly engaging. The film reminded me a bit of Rear Window, which also had a setup of someone suspicious that their neighbor is up to something sinister. Though it didn't feel like a total ripoff of that. Like, it wasn't trying to imitate an Alfred Hitchcock movie beat by beat, and it still felt like it had a fresh voice. Landon does an effective job of building up suspense, giving us enough clues that get us thinking and wanting more. And in the end, while it's not the most innovative movie out there, it delivers on giving us an intriguing, emotionally satisfying story. I thought this was pretty good. It's not the most insightful film out there, and it has its share of familiar elements, but I thought it did a nice job of mixing a character study about someone trying to deal with this mental illness, along with being an effective mystery thriller in the vein of Rear Window. I thought the direction by Castile Landon was solid, it moved at a fairly quick pace, and it had a lot of great performances, most notably from Madison Iseman. It's on VOD now, so if you can, I'd recommend checking it out. Fear of Rain gets a 7 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Fear of Rain, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the story? Do you want to see more from Madison Iseman and Israel Broussard? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.